Okay, so now that I've set up some views on my sheet, so I want to go through the list of required views and just show you some specific steps that you can use to create these exact views that you need for your assignment. And so I'm going to start with these plan views, and this is probably one of the most important ideas. The idea that you can have a view like a plan, and there's my ground floor plan, and then my bathroom floor plan, which is the one I've placed onto the sheet. So you can have a view like this, which is at a certain scale, and then you can have another version of that view, which is at a different scale. And that's really common. You often need to have maybe one floor plan that's going to show your entire building, and then another one at a different scale that's going to show just one space within that building. So again, I've got my bathroom floor plan that I know is the view I've already placed onto my sheet down below. So I'm going to right click on that floor plan and then just go to duplicate view and then duplicate with detailing. And with this option, duplicate view, if you're ever not sure which option to choose, the one in the middle is generally best. So duplicate with detailing. So you'll all need to do that to create a new copy of your main floor plan. So you can see in the project browser now, I've got a new view with a different name. And so I'll, again, just right click and rename. And I'm going to call this bathroom detail plan. Okay, now, but I still just have two identical views, just with different names. The bathroom floor plan, bathroom detail plan. But then in the bathroom detail plan, I'm going to go down to the scale and change that to 1 to 50. And you can see now it does change a little bit. The section marker appears smaller. It's actually not, you'll see in a moment, but I know it looks like it's smaller. And if we zoom in, you can see the tiles look a bit different too. So that's all because of the scale. So just to show you how it works, I'm going to go down to my sheet with the floor plan on it. And I'm going to take the section off this page because I probably don't have room for it, so I'll delete that for now. And don't ever worry about deleting views from a sheet. You're not deleting what's in the view, so it's fine if I just select that section and then press delete on the keyboard. And then now I'm going to drag that bathroom detail plan from the project browser, click and drag, place it on the sheet, and then just click again to place it where I want it, just so you can see the difference. So it's obviously bigger, and I'm just going to move the other one to the side so that you can see both of them together. But, and an interesting thing that I always like to point out is that the section, you can see there, is actually the same size, the section arrow. So it's not the section arrow that changed size, it's the view, or the plan. So here we've got the scale we want, but it's showing too much. I just want to show the bathroom, I don't want to show all the rest. So to make it the right size, I want to work on the sheet as well. So I'm going to select this view that I want to change, and then up on the ribbon click Activate View. And you've all used AutoCAD, haven't you? Yep. So this is like model space and paper space when you're working on a page, same idea. So if I, again, select that view, click Activate View, that's like model space. So I can work in this view, I can delete things, and work on my model, and I can also use the view controls. So down on the view control bar, we've got this button next to the glasses, which is Show Crop Region. And then you're going to see the rectangle that goes around your view. You can select that, and then use it to crop the plan so that I can just see the part that I want. So again, I just want to see the bathroom. Here we are. And then I'm going to make the section line shorter as well, just by clicking on the line. So watch out there, if you click on the arrowhead, it doesn't do anything. So to select a section, you generally need to select the line in the section. And then I can shorten that just using the grips there, just so it fits better onto the page. And so now that I've finished cropping, I'm going to click on that same button next to the glasses there to just hide the crop region. It doesn't turn cropping off, it's still cropping, but it just hides that border. So now I've done the work I wanted to with that view, so I'm going to right click and then choose Deactivate View. Okay, so now I should be able to fit both of these together on the one page. So I'll move this one to a better place on the page, and you can see there that as I move it, the tag or the view title moves with it, but I want to move that separately. Obviously I don't want that tag to be down there off the page. So to move it separately, the trick is to click to deselect it, just click to an empty space or press escape twice to make sure nothing's selected, and then you can click and drag on that title and move it independently. So what's really counterintuitive is that if you want to shorten that tag or the line, you need to select the view again. So I've got to click on that viewport, and then you can see you get the grips back to change the length of the line. And there we are. So again, I've got my two different plans showing basically the same area of the bathroom, but also showing some extra things in the bigger plan, of course, in the 1 to 100. And we can have them both on the same sheet together. Lay it out however you like. So I could put a perspective view on this sheet maybe to go with it. And so we've set perspectives up already. But notice it gave me a message then when I went to place that view on the sheet, because I've already placed this perspective onto one of my other sheets. So just like the floor plans, you can duplicate a perspective. So when you right click again, you can go duplicate view. Again, I'll just choose duplicate with detailing. And then I might change it a little bit. So I'll maybe turn shadows off, and using the navigation wheel on the right, the little button you have in the view control, also it's called the navigation bar, I think. There's that button that looks like a steering wheel, and you can use that to get the controls to adjust the view. And maybe I'll bring that out using pan, and we'll go and walk back a bit. So you've got those really useful camera controls there. Okay, so that might be the view I want, and just like before, I'm going to right click on that view now in the project browser and go to rename, and then I'll call this exterior perspective. So now if I go back to that sheet, I can drag that new view and place it on the page. And then just maybe tidy it up a bit. Okay, so the aim is just to fit everything inside that page border. Probably lay it out a bit better than that though. So that covers that requirement there, to have one floor plan at 1 to 100 and then another one at 1 to 50. You only need the one cross section. So I'm going to make a new sheet. Perhaps you're getting used to doing that just by right clicking on Sheets All. You can choose New Sheet, and if you've loaded a sheet previously, it'll be there in the list, and you can just click OK to get a new page. So I'm going to drag my section across now and place it on the page, and you can see it's really small because it's still 1 to 100. And so you can change the scale on the sheet. If you go over to properties, you can change it there as well. But I'll show you another way. If you activate the view, then you get the option on the view control bar, which does the same thing. Okay, so I've changed the scale. That would fit much better on this page. But then to go back to the page, I need to again right-click and then deactivate view. And now I can drag that viewport so it fits on the page. And again, there's the title. If you wanted to change the length of those levels though, then you'd have to again activate the view to go back into it, and then you can work just like you are in the view in the project browser, and again just maybe stretch those levels so that they don't go out too far. And then notice how here that border is still turned on, so I'll hide that using the same button I used before next to the glasses there. And then again right click to deactivate the view, and the section's done. Just using the arrow key to nudge that on the sheet. So the up arrow and the left arrow. Okay, so that covers that requirement for a section. And then this is the one that probably gives people the most trouble at first, but once you get used to it, these are really good views, the isometric views. And I'm going to show you this new tool, which is section box. So that's a really good one. And that's probably the last thing I'll do now. So again, I'll just go to the project browser. And you can see we've got this view, which you've all been using, 3D in brackets, and that's your default 3D view. So whenever you're asked to make isometric views, you need to start with a view like this. And if you've forgotten, you always get those if you click on the house at the top. That's what you get. But then to make a new view from that initial view, you need to either duplicate or rename. But since I've been using duplicate, I'll just continue with that. And so here I'll go to duplicate view, duplicate with detailing, and then I'll right click on my new view, 3D copy 1, and then rename, and we'll call it Isometric 1. So, do you remember what makes a view isometric? What does isometric mean? Or what's kind of, yeah, it is, it can be, yep. So, have you looked at axonometric versus isometric? It's only a subtle difference, but it's one you've got to know to do this sort of drawing. So, essentially, it was an isometric, and now if I change the angle, then it's an axonometric. And that's all it is. They're pretty easy terms to understand once you've done a bit of drawing, because to set up an isometric view, you need to have equal angles. So if you've ever drawn an isometric, you would have used your set square with the 30 degrees and 60 degrees to get your equal angles. In Revit, it's automatic. As long as you remember to do it, you've got the cube there, and if you click on the corners, right, notice how the angles are all equal inside the cube there. So that is an isometric view. Whenever you click on the corners, that's going to give you an isometric. If you change the angle by orbiting, then it's a similar view. Basically, that's an axonometric. An axonometric just means a view with a vertical axis. So all of those walls have vertical edges. But again, the angles now inside that cube aren't equal. So that's an axonometric, but again, isometric is just the one with the equal angles. So they're really useful views for clients. Clients sometimes prefer these to perspectives even, especially if they have trouble reading a floor plan. But at the moment, I can't see inside the building. And so to do that, I'm going to use this section box option. So you need to go over to your properties, and then if you scroll down, you'll find section box. Okay, so once you tick it, then you should see this box come up, and it's a bit like a 3D crop. So if you select it, select the box, then you'll see these arrows come up, and you can use those to crop out parts of your 3D model. So I drag those in, you can see it's cropping the ground, and we'll actually see an earth hatch there, now that it's been cut. So I'm going to crop it back even further, so I can see into the courtyard. Cropping it right back. And then I'm also going to bring it down, using that arrow at the top, so that I take away the ceiling. Okay, and because I've been orbiting, I'm then just going to click on the corner of the cube again to make it a proper isometric again. So there we are. So that's a good view. And so I'll leave it like that for now. And so I'll go down to my sheet. And, well, it probably won't fit on the view with the section, or the sheet with the section, so I'll make a new sheet. You can make as many sheets as you like. And then I'll drag that isometric view onto my sheet, just like all the others. So you need 4 of those. Right, and so once you've made one, you can just duplicate that view. Again, same way, right click, duplicate view, duplicate with detailing. And so then maybe I want a detailed view of the bath and that bathing area. So just to keep on top of it, I'll rename the view first. Over in Project Browser, again, right click, rename, and make it Isometric 2. And I'm going to then just bring the crop region, the section box in around that area with the bath. It's maybe a bit too far. I do want to see the rest of the bath, so let's bring that out a bit. I'm going to get that wall. Well, that wall's right on the edge. So instead of trying to crop it out with the section box, I'm just going to select that wall and then right click and go to hide in view elements, just to hide that one wall. And then I've got a few bits of other things getting in the way there, so I'll select those as well. So the window, again, right click, hide in view elements, and there's a bit of a door there, so again, right click, hide in view elements. So now I've got a nice detailed view of just that area with the bath and the shower. So I'll go down and put that onto the page that I've just made. Again, clicking and dragging, and I can place it, but it's obviously really small. So just like all of the other views, I can change the scale of that isometric. I'll just do it over in properties here, and I'll make that one 1 to 50, just like the other floor plan. So you can have your isometrics, different scales. And then you can have them at any angle as well. So again, just starting with any that you've made, you can duplicate them. So again, duplicate view, integrate detailing, and so maybe I want to have one that's looking the other way. So I'm just orbiting now with the mouse, and then clicking on the corner of the cube. That makes it again a proper isometric, and I'll crop out another part of it. So this might be a detail looking at the area with the vanity. There we are, and bring this back. So again, I know this one probably should be 1 to 50, so while I'm working on it, I can just change the scale there, and then when I put it on the sheet, it'll obviously be that scale already. And I better change the name over in properties here, so again, right-clicking, rename, and Isometric 3, and this is the last view I'll do. So, again, I'll just drag that view onto my page, should fit, no too much trouble. So, otherwise just juggle those around, but there we are. So, the final thing I'll show you there is that you can then hide those section boxes, and they'll look a lot better. So, again, I'll do it on the sheet just by selecting them, activate view, and the easiest way to hide them is the same way I just hid those walls and doors and things. So, again, just by right-clicking on the section box, hide in view, elements. See, that looks much better. You can also turn shadows on, just like any other view, and that can give it a bit more depth. So, if you're thinking the shadows on the ground don't look great, you can turn those off. But we won't worry about that for now, that's a bit more involved. So, I want to go back and just hide those section boxes in the other views, so I'm going to right-click, deactivate view, select one of the others, and then activate each view and just go through and hide the section box in the same way, and maybe turn the shadows on. It's like shadows, and then again do the same thing with the last one. There we are. So you just need something like that, so that you get used to setting up different isometric views, and again using that section box to crop out different parts in 3D. And then the only other requirement is the perspective views. I won't show you that, we did that last week. And so you can hopefully all make your own camera views, and just make sure you get those onto your sheets as well. And 2 of them do need to be rendered though, so make sure you have a go at rendering the perspectives, and that'll do it. But the main requirement for the assignment is that you have these views. So we're not looking at the design, even though it's nice to try and do a good design, but just for your own benefit. But again, the most important thing is that you have these views with the content that you need for a bathroom. But again, not looking so much at the design, but more that you know met these technical requirements. So I'll give you some time to try that, and probably just a bit of finishing off after that, but probably nearly done.